Welcome to How to Run Profitable Retreats podcast, the podcast that guides you not to only host retreats that thrive financially, but also transform people's lives. I'm your host, Leni Cavazos, and each week I bring you the best strategies and personal insights to help you create retreat experiences that transform lives, both your clients and your own. In our journey together, we'll dive into the secrets behind successful retreats, from crafting a unique atmosphere to mastering the logistics that ensure profitability. Whether you're tuning in for inspiring interviews with leading retreat experts or seeking actionable advice in our solo episodes, this podcast is your go-to resource for turning your retreat visions into reality. Don't miss out on any of our episodes and subscribe now. For more tools and a free guide on creating your own six-figure retreat business, visit theretreatplanner.com. Now let's get started and make your retreat dreams come true. All right. Hello. Welcome to another episode of How to Run Profitable Retreats. I'm your host, Leni Cavazos, and I am so thrilled to have Jalisa here. She's a minister, aka the Golden Child, and she's a holistic health professional, human design expert, yes, please, and healer bats in Glen Burnie, MD. She's a single mom and survivor, and she empowers women to live with purpose, pleasure, and peace using her freedom framework and calm method. You can dive into her book, It's All in Me, her journey to freedom and living abundantly, and discover that the power to heal is within you. So she's all about creating a community of strong, joyful women together. Jalisa, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So I know, I already told everyone here, oh my gosh, you're absolutely amazing, and you have your freedom method. And it's all about, today we're going to be talking all about self-care. And yes, we're going to be talking about self-care for retreat professionals, but also self-care for coaches, therapists, healers. It doesn't matter. We all need self-care, right?
Exactly. Yes, we definitely, it's non-negotiable. When you're a human being, self-care is non-negotiable. You have to take care of yourself in order to live a long and prosperous life.
I love this. Yes. So we're going to be talking about self-care, but also we're going to be talking about one of our favorite topics that is actually human design. So we're going to be going into how do you do self-care according to your human design. Jalisa is going to take us through that. So I can't wait. So stay on in this episode because we're going to be having this beautiful space on finding different ways on how you can build self-care into your practice so you don't burn out. You can keep doing what you love, can bring a transformation to the world. And yes, you can make a lot of money, but taking care of yourself first, right? Always a full cup to be able to give to others. So Jalisa, tell us a little bit about your concept of self-care and how you see that.
Yes. So self-care for me, a lot of times when people think self-care, they're like bubble bath and candles and massages, and that's a component of it. But we have to remember that we're more than just a physical being. We have our physical body, our mental body, emotional body, our energetic body, and our spiritual body that needs care. So when we really think about all of who we are and taking care of those different aspects of ourselves, it makes for a more beneficial process when it comes to self-care, when you're thinking about more than just your physical body. So for me, when I think about self-care, I think about how can you take care of your whole being and nourish it so that you have everything that you need in order to do the work that you're called to do, your purpose work, your roles, your responsibilities, and be there at your fullest capacity. And know that, like you mentioned, filling up your cup. So for me, what I learned as a mom and as a practitioner, I learned to fill my cup up so that it's overflowing. So I do more than is quote unquote necessary so that my cup is overflowing, so that when I'm giving and serving, I'm giving from that overflow and keeping what's in the cup for me. So that for me is what self-care is, that all encompassing of who I am, but remembering when I'm doing my self-care to do it to the excess so that I'm giving from the excess and not from the cup, which is for me.
Okay, I love this. And I know, you have three kids, you're a single mom. How do you find time to bring self-care into your life? Come on. I have a dog and I struggle to find time.
It all comes down to part of my freedom framework is fellowship, friends and family, having my support system around me that know that being a 6'2", we getting a little bit into the human design, having that two line, which is some people call it the hermit. We need that time to ourselves.
I have a 6'2". That's me.
Yes. So we absolutely, it's like when I say non-negotiable for us two lines, we have to have time to ourselves every day, even if it's just a little bit of time. Because if not, we'll get into this space of frustration and overwhelm and be easily burnt out because we don't have that time to ourselves. So for me, making sure that the people around me know, ooh, she's getting a little bit feisty. She might need some time to herself. Let me take a step back and I let people know, like, even my kids are 5, 4, and 2. I let them know. I'll ask them a question. Do you want mommy to be happy, mommy? And they'll say yes. I say, okay, well, if you want me to be happy, mommy, you need to give mommy time to herself so that she can fill up her cup so that when it's time, when I have that time to myself, I can be there for you the way that you need to be filled up. So now when even my 2-year-old, when he notices I'm getting a little snippy, he'll say, can you be happy, mommy? No. Oh.
Love it.
Yeah. So for me, it's really about having that support system, setting boundaries around myself and my time so that people know, and then being aware of those signs and having other people aware of those signs so that they know, okay, she needs some time to herself.
Mm. Yeah, I feel you. Like sometimes I'm like, I just wrapped up like a Wow Woman Summit from one of my separate companies called We Summit. And like, it's 3 days, it's absolutely powerful, it's so beautiful, and it's like 9 hours or more of going through the process, right? And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, I'm done, right? With energy. Then usually my mom is like, she wants to tell me every single detail of her day and like, oh, and this and this. And I was like, no, 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 no. I need like the summary. Like I cannot like, and she's like, oh, but you always want, and I'm like, I'm coming out of 9 hours of being with people, listening to people, and I love them and I had so much fun, but I need quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to like take away from you that you haven't spoken to anyone throughout the day and now you want to talk to someone that someone is me, but I'm not the right person to listen to you right now. It's nothing personal, right?
Yes, and that's important for us to be mindful of our capacity. We only have but so much capacity to handle certain things and take on things. So that 9 hours, if you didn't, get the time that you needed to yourself, you're constantly going and on for those 9 hours. So you definitely needed that time to say, look, I want to be here for you. But right now, I need to be here for myself. So that's why, like I said, having those boundaries and being able to articulate and share them with the people around us so that they know, like, okay, let me give her time, give her space, so that when it's time for her to be there for me, she can be fully there for me. There goes my 2-year-old.
Like this is happening.
You gotta go
Not
downstairs and get the
podcast
baby.
time. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. I literally spent the first hour at 2:30 my time trying to get him to go to sleep. He was literally screaming like, no, no. I'm like, you're not going to be asleep for my podcast. I can tell right now. And he, as you can hear, he's not. He decided it's Friday. I don't want to take a nap. So
Yeah, that's fine. He can be part of our podcast for sure. This is the thing, right? Like when we're women entrepreneur, we figure it out, we make it work, and that's it. All right, this is absolutely amazing. Sorry, I feel like I want to like sneeze, but maybe it won't come. It's okay. But let's just talk little bit about like self-care for like different like human designs, right? Like, which human design are you, Jalisa, by the way?
so I'm a manifesting generator.
Okay, amazing. I'm a manifestor. And I
Okay.
actually, most of my clients are either manifestor generators or projectors.
Okay.
It's interesting, right? Like I always them, and there's like I have some generators. I have never had a reflector. But in general, it's always manifestor generators or projectors that come into my space. It's interesting, right?
Yeah, so there's a science to that, because 35% of the population are manifesting generators. 35% of the population are generators. 20% of the population are projectors. 8% of the population are manifestors, and then 1 to 2% are reflectors. So that's why it's very rare that you'll run across a reflector. But if you ever do, this is someone that you want to make sure that you keep in contact with, because they are very, very rare.
My brother is a reflector.
Oh, wow. And I'm pretty sure he's like one of the most unique people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah. He's very special for sure. But yeah, like I was like when he was like, I'm a reflector, I'm like, that's rare.
Very rare.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's what I am. And I'm like, okay, awesome. All right. So how people like how do the different like profiles can do like self-care in a better way based on who they are?
Yes. For manifesting generators, and like I said, that's 35% of the population. Manifesting generators are very similar, but manifesting generators are a hybrid of manifestors and generators. So they have some qualities of manifestors and some qualities of generators. So I would say, because I'm a manifesting generator, we're a unique energy type, but we do make up 35% of the population. So, like you said, a lot of your clients are the manifesting generators, and we're more of the extroverts. We have a lot of energy, we have the capacity and the sacral energy in order to move and go and get the work done. A lot of times, we're manifesting generators, we can be people pleasers. So, when it comes to self care, being mindful of the things that light us up and the things that don't, saying no to the things that don't light us up, and being sure to check in the moment when something is a yes, to do it in that moment. Our magic as manifesting generators is in the moment, not trying to focus on too far into the future, not trying to focus on what happened in the past. Being present for manifesting generators is the best type of self-care, because in the moment we can see what lights us up and what doesn't in order to pivot or move or do something different. So for me, what my self-care looks like, every single morning I have a list of daily nourishing activities. And every morning I'll check in with myself to see which ones are aligned for the day. And even throughout the day, I'll check in to see again, okay, are these things still aligned for me to do throughout the day to nourish myself and pour into myself? And that for manifesting generators is really helpful, because the way that we think and the way that we do things is not linear at all. So when you can check in the moment, and you see that working with manifesting generators, the way that we think is like, it's not A, B, C, D, it's A, 2, square, green, like it's literally all over the place.
Yeah.
And you're laughing because that's how we think. And so when we can be present in the moment to see what is most aligned, that's the best type of self-care for a manifesting generator. For generators, again, they're similar to manifesting generators because they have similar qualities. But the difference between generators and manifesting generators is that when they make a decision to do something, it's harder for them to pivot, change their mind, and make a different choice or decision. So it's important to be mindful when it comes to self-care. Okay, what is it that's going to light me up? And in this moment, what's the best decision for me that I can actually stick with in order to be consistent with it? Being consistent and sticking to things is going to be more beneficial for a generator than a manifesting generator, because like I said, for generators it's harder for them to kind of pivot and change, because they have
too many ideas.
This what?
Too many ideas.
Yes.
Huh? Like too many possibilities, like dropping out from everywhere. So it's harder to like stay on a straight line, right? So, and for me, generators are much more on the straight line. They're like straight shooters. They're like, this is what I want. I like it. I'm sticking to it. If I don't like it, unless it stops working, I'm going to stick to it.
Exactly. So when they find those things that kind of work for them in the season, like if it's, going out for walks, at a certain time, doing certain things as far as a certain type of meditation. When you can stick to those things and do them on a consistent basis, that's more beneficial for a generator.
Amazing.
For projectors, like I said, they're 20% of the population. They don't have the centers that support them with their energy, their motivation, getting work done. So the most important thing for projectors is rest.
Okay.
Projectors need naps. They need 2 to 3 hour time frames of work and then resting and taking time to themselves, taking naps, doing those nourishing activities that are going to be supportive for them, because they don't have the center that produces their energy. Their energy comes from that nourishment, from their food and from their sleep and their rest. So for them, it's very, very important to eat as clean as possible, being sure to check in with what is nourishing for the different seasons, for what's going on around you, so that your body is getting that energy from the food and from your rest. Again, because they don't have those centers that produce the energy internally. Their energy comes from the rest and the external nourishment from their food. So for projectors, rest is your best friend. Naps are your best friend, and being intentional about your workday as a projector, trying to make sure that the tasks that you have that'll take up more of your energy and more of your brain space are done in the beginning of your day. So that throughout the rest of the day is just kind of busy work, things that aren't going to take too much of your energy. Like if you work a 9 to 5, doing it that way. But if you're an entrepreneur, it's easy for you to say, okay, these are the 2 to 3 hours that I'm going to work, and the rest of the day I'm going to rest or delegate. Delegating for projectors is very, very important to their self-care, because they don't have the capacity and the energy to be able to work 2 to 3 hours. And if they do, they'll find themselves getting sick, having digestive issues, being burnt out, being overwhelmed, going into depression, and experiencing their not self theme of bitterness. So for a projector, if you're feeling bitter or envious or jealousy, that's a sign that
Go take a nap.
that is
Naps in your life.
exactly. So nap, rest, and being very mindful of when you're experiencing those not self themes of bitterness, envy, jealousy, so that you'll know, okay, I'm trying to work too much, I'm trying to get too much done, and I need to rest. For manifestors, I love manifestors. My daughter, my baby girl, she's a manifestor, and you're a manifestor. That's
We're the best.
Population. Manifestors are the only energy type that really can initiate when it comes to things. If you have an urge to do something when it comes to self-care, you can go for it and it'll be beneficial for you. Like if you see something, you're like, "Ooh, I want to do that." Like, let me go ahead and do that, because that is what's going to be most beneficial for you. Following those urges, following those surges of your energy, because again, manifestors have surges, and then they have kind of like where their energy just kind of drops off. So you have surges, and then you have your energy drop off, and you're like, yeah, I'm like, I've initiated, and that's all I've got for you.
Yeah, and that's kind of like today, like it happened to me, no? Like I run this like summit for like 3 days, and I moved some sessions from like the weekdays to yesterday. And then today in the morning, I was like, I'm taking the morning off. I was like, this is happening. Like I was like, it's not a question. Do I have things to do? Yes. Could I be doing more things? 100%. Do I have the energy, the capacity, the desire to do it right now? No. I was like, no, that can wait until the evening. I can do it tomorrow morning. I usually don't work on weekends, but I prefer to move it to Saturday than to push through today and then crash and burn afterwards.
Yeah, because if not, for manifestors, they're not self-theme, it's anger. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself resentful or angry or just aggravated and frustrated, that's when you know you've pushed through your energy dip and have tried to do more than what you have the capacity for. So, as manifesting generators, following those urges and surges of energy so that you're doing the things that light you up in those moments versus when you have those energy dips and you're like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So that I love that you're as an entrepreneur we're able to do that, pivot and move with our energy, and that's so important that we have that self-awareness so that we're not constantly pushing and trying to produce things when we don't have the energy or the capacity to do them.
Yeah.
So I went through manifesting generators, projectors, manifestors, and now the reflectors. Special beings, the 1 to 2% of the population. Reflectors are we call them the chameleons of the energy types because they can fit in with whoever's around them. So if they're with the projector, they can flow as a projector. Like a lot of times, you won't even know somebody's a reflector unless you know their energy type. Like you've seen their chart and you say, oh, that's a reflector, because they're so good at fitting in and just going with the flow of those around them. So reflectors, it's very important to be mindful of who's around you, what's in your environment, and what's going on in those spaces and with those people, because it's so easy for you to feed off of their energy and go with what's going on around you. So being mindful of what other people are, where their energy is, what vibe they have going on, so that when it comes to self-care, you're not just doing things because they're doing it, but because it's going to be something that's going to be nourishing for you and where you are desiring to go. Because as reflectors, they have very wide visions to see things into the future of what's going on, not only with them, but with the world. So that's why I say when you have a reflector, the way that they see things and the way that they see the world is like none other. So for reflectors, your best way to take care of yourself is being mindful of your environment and the people around you so that they're feeding you and nourishing you, because you have all open centers. You're constantly taking in energy all throughout the day from people, from places, from things around you. So being very, very mindful of your environment and your people is the best kind of self-care for reflectors.
I love this, Jalisa. This is absolutely amazing. I have so many ideas in my head already. Oh my gosh. Like I think like so many people can benefit from this. Tell us a little bit about like how can people work with you in this space of like your method freedom, and like what do you help people achieve? I know you have so many so definitely I want everyone to go check you out. But like I know you bring so many pieces to the table, and we just covered one tiny one that is human design. But yeah, how can people what do you help people accomplish? Like why do people come to you?
Yes. So just like with human design is one of the major aspects of what I do because it's really the blueprint to who we are as individuals and how we come together as a collective of people. So human design really helps and supports me with getting to know my clients so that I can really customize my support and care for them. Because, like I said, everybody is completely different. So, I do have programs and different products and services. And mainly because I'm a manifesting generator and I am the niche, I don't necessarily have a niche. I have all of these different things that I offer and share to support people with, but it's really because we're all so different and we need different things for support. Some people enjoy the individual coaching, other people need community spaces and group coaching. Other people are like, well, I need a little bit of both. Let me see how I can do that. So for me, it's really about really getting to know each person for where they are, what they need, and really getting a feel for how I can best support them or connecting them with somebody in my network that can be of better support to them. So that for me, I'm all about collaborations. I'm all about partnerships because I'm only one person. I can only take on but so many people. But when I have those partnerships and collaborations, I can say, oh, I do this, but I feel like this person could probably support you a little bit better or a little bit differently than I would. So that
Yeah,
for me
that's so important.
it's really about having that insight from human design to know, okay, this is what this person needs, and really helping people to see. I say that I'm here to guide you to see and be your most authentic self. My brand is the golden child, and I help people to understand and see that I'm not only the golden child, we all have a golden child within. So I'm here to support you with unleashing the golden child within you so that you can live that, like you mentioned in my bio, the life of peace, pleasure, and purpose. And I do that with my coaching, whether it's individual or groups, community spaces, courses, programs, books, but really customizing the support and care with people so that they know, okay, I'm getting what I need specifically, not just what you're giving everybody else.
Amazing. Oh, I love it, Jalisa. And how can people find you? What's the best way for people to find you?
Yes, my website has everything, my books, my product, services, events. I have a bunch of events coming up, and my website is jalisahardy.com.
Perfect. So you will jalisahardy.com, and you will have on the show notes the link direct to go to her website. Go check her out, see how she can help you. Look at all these amazing tips that we already got about how we can do self-care based on our human design. This is so powerful. Thank you, Jalisa, for being here. And thank you to all of you for listening to this episode. This has been absolutely wonderful. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a great episode. If you like our podcast, How to Run Profitable Retreats, leave us a review and share it with a friend.